209%.
Mm.
If I told you there was an asset class yielding that kind of return, you'd probably think I was pitching you some kind of crypto scam.
Or a Ponzi scheme, yeah. But no, that's a real number.
Hmm.
It's from the data in the Gravity report. And it completely reframes how universities should be looking at their alumni.
Right. It is the main takeaway is that alumni who get involved in mentorship programs are 209% more likely to donate.
So we're not talking about a student service anymore.
Not at all. This isn't a cost center. It's a massive underutilized revenue driver.
It's a donor cultivation engine that's just hiding in plain sight.
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is really the core of our deep dive today, most schools just can't seem to turn the key on it.
Because of the spreadsheet bottleneck?
Precisely. You have these highly paid, very talented administrators just drowning in Excel, trying to manually match, thousands of students with thousands of potential mentors.
It's so slow. It's manual. And to be honest, it's just a waste of their talent.
A total waste. And while they're stuck doing data entry, the stakes for the students are just getting higher and higher.
You're talking about the loneliness factor.
Yeah, the information on that was it was heavy. Mentorship isn't just a nice to have, it's one of the main buffers against student loneliness.
I think the number was that it explains nearly 50% of the variance in loneliness levels.
50%.
Yeah.
So when we let these manual processes limit how many students we can serve, we aren't just leaving donations on the table. We're actually leaving students isolated.
It's a double failure then. It's
Yes.
financial and it's moral.
Right.
But let's flip this around for a second. I want to talk about the reciprocity data. Because the common assumption is always, oh, the poor alum has to take time out of their busy schedule.
To help a student. Yeah, and that's just completely wrong. The research blows that idea up. Is this concept of double-sided value?
Meaning the mentors get something out of it too?
A lot. They actually experience greater objective career achievements. We're talking promotions, salary bumps, more than their peers who don't mentor.
So by teaching a student how to navigate a career, it actually helps the mentor's own career path.
It forces them to articulate their own skills, their own value. And that success, of course, feeds right back into the donor pipeline we were talking about.
Which brings us to this idea of emotional ownership.
That's it. When you help a student get a job or pass a tough class, you feel responsible for that success. You're not just an observer of the university anymore.
And an active participant.
Exactly. And that creates this psychological bridge that just makes writing a check feel like the most natural next step.
Which explains that other stat that mentors are 156% more likely to have already donated.
Okay, but I have to pause this here because I can almost hear the skeptics in the room.
The robo-match skeptics.
Right. We're talking about automating all of this to get to scale.
Yeah.
But isn't mentorship supposed to be deeply, messily human? Can we really trust an algorithm to make a life-changing connection?
See, I think that's the biggest misconception out there. The scale argument actually suggests that manual matching is less human.
How do you figure that?
Well, just think about it. You're an admin. You have hundreds of students to match in a week. You don't have time to think about their soul. You look at two columns, major and location.
Biology, Boston.
Yeah.
Done next.
Exactly. It's superficial because it has to be. You're just trying to get through the list.
Whereas an algorithm doesn't get tired.
It doesn't get tired and it can process all this deep data. We're talking personality traits, specific career goals, soft skills, things a human with a deadline just cannot cross-reference for 1,000 people.
So the AI handles the logistics, which removes the barrier to entry.
And that lets the humans, the mentor and the student, focus on the actual relationship.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which is where the tool mentioned in this research comes in, MentorMatch AI.
This part was really interesting because it tackles the supply problem. The biggest bottleneck is usually just finding enough good mentors in the first place.
Right. MentorMatch AI doesn't just work with the list you already have. It actively goes out and identifies and verifies alumni mentors using automated outreach. It builds an enhanced database without an admin ever having to type a single thing.
That really is the game changer. It shifts the administrator's job from being a data entry clerk.
Being a system architect.
Exactly. Yeah. Managing relationships instead of spreadsheets.
And that's the golden thread here, I think. The administrative burden is the enemy of impact. If you let AI handle the matching, you can ensure that no student gets turned away just because an admin ran out of time.
So you scale student well-being, and you build that future donor pipeline at the same time.
It's a win for the student's mental health, a win for the alum's career, and a win for the university's endowment.
It's hard to argue with that trifecta.
Here's a final thought for you to chew on, though. If we're now trusting AI to predict who will be a good mentor today, how long is it until it starts predicting which specific mentor-mentee pairs will result in the biggest donations 10 years from now?
That is a fascinating and, I have to say, a slightly terrifying thought.
Something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
See you next time.